On the home screen, you see a series of buttons and icons. We'll go through them one by one and explain what each one of them does. On the top left, you have the bids button. We are not using the bidding system currently, so you can ignore that for now. In the middle top, you'll see the red button with labeled unavail, stands for unavailable. This is your status button. It's very important. This is what tells the system whether or not you're ready to receive jobs. When you first log into the system, by default, you're set to unavailable, and this is to give you a chance to get settled in your vehicle, get everything organized, and once you are ready to start your shift, you simply click on that button and you'll see that it toggles to a green button and it says available. Now you know that system knows that you're ready. And you'll notice that once you are available, you'll also see your current zone that you're logged into and your queue position. Right now, I'm the only one, so I am one of one vehicle in this zone. On the top right, you have the zones button. This button takes you to the zone screen, which gives you some information about the various zones. Now, again, normally you would see a list of all the zones that have a driver and or any jobs taking place in them. In my case, there's only one zone right now. If you click on the zone itself, you'll see some additional detail about that zone. You see how many vehicles there are, what their position is, what their status is, and what vehicle type they're in. And if you click on zone details, you can even get further breakdown as to what is going on in that zone. We can go back to the home screen. On the bottom left, you have a button labeled toggle. This is actually the panic button. For obvious reasons, we did not label it panic. But if you're in a situation and you want to send the stress signal to base, what you do is you tap this button and hold for 3 seconds. Once you let go, of course, you're not going to see any kind of alarms or anything go off, but dispatch will be notified that you have invoked the panic button. And your indication that the signal has been sent is this little asterisk next to the toggle label. Once the dispatch receives the signal, they'll contact you on your mobile phone, via text, or however they can to find out what's going on and if you actually need help. When and if they clear the stress signal, the asterisk will disappear from the toggle button. Next, we'll skip the menu button for now. We'll go to busy. Clicking on this button, you'll see that you have 3 choices. The bottom one is log out, which we already covered. It's obviously when you're done with your shift and you want to log out, you would tap on that. In this case, we cancel we're back in. The system will always default to the home screen, so don't be alarmed by that. Just go ahead and tap on busy again. In the middle, you'll see short break. If you want to go on a break, you just click on that, and the system is asking you to tell it where you're going to be. So I can either scroll through here and pick something, and the system will be notified that I'm on a break. You can also, I have to go off break. And to go off break, you will simply tap on the status button again to be available. So let's go ahead and go back on break to show you. So you can either scroll through that wheel or you can actually type in, for example, Grand Junction. That'll narrow down your choices to only Grand Junction so you can easily find the zone that you want. You click next and it says that the dispatch has been informed. You say, great, okay. So your status is set to unavailable, obviously, because you're on break. So when you go on a break, the system will maintain your queue position for 10 minutes. So this is obviously if you want to just step out of your vehicle to go to the restroom, to get a drink, and you want to get back in your vehicle and resume your shift without losing your position. After 10 minutes, you'll still be on a break. There's no time limit on the break, but after 10 minutes, you will lose your queue position. And then when you step back in your vehicle, when you're ready to continue, once again, you'll simply click on the status button and you're back to available. Next is the menu button. Oh, I'm sorry. Let's go back to busy. The top choice is hired, and that is for street flags, street hails. We'll cover that later, but that's what that stands for. Let's go back. Under the menu screen, you have bookings, which shows you any upcoming bookings that you may have, and will also show you the next day bookings. Now, I don't think we'll be using this because we don't dispatch that far in advance. And you can see your current jobs by going to the My Jobs section. And you can also take a look at all your previous bookings. So this is a list of all your previous bookings, and you can scroll through them and find, if you want to get more detail about any one of them, you click on it and you'll see all the detail about that job. Let's go back. You can always also hit the home button to quickly go back to the home screen. Back on the menu screen, again, the bids is not used at this moment. So let's go to settings. Settings is where you have control of some of the settings on the tablet itself. You can adjust the brightness. Offer notification button mode, you always want to leave that on buttons. Do not play with that. Yeah, you want to leave the auto adjust brightness on. Flip app, you don't want to use. That simply flips the app 180 degrees, which we don't want to do. Next, you have the day or night shift. I recommend that you leave the night theme selected. Next, you have the font size. You can increase or decrease the font size by clicking on the minus or plus sign. So if you're having trouble reading the text, you could increase the size of the text, but be careful about increasing it too much, as it will start to cause some text to overlap or be hidden on some screens. So I suggest that you start with the smallest font possible, and if you're still having problems, then you can come back here and increase the size. We don't use clear GPS, so you can ignore that for now as well. So let me go back. We don't use devices at this point, so don't worry about that. Zones is the same as hitting the zones button from the home screen, so that's exactly the same. You'll notice that there are several ways of getting to the same screens within the app. Map is not used. That is not the navigation button. We'll cover navigation later. My messages is where you would see any messages that were sent to you between you and home base. You can see today's messages. You can see messages for the past week, messages for the past month. Next is earnings. Clicking on earnings shows you all the trips that you've done today. On the left, you have what you've completed, accepted trips. On the right, you have any rejected trips and the amount of dollars that you have lost by rejecting that trip. You can see the earnings for today by default. You can click on that to go to the past 7 days, current month, or the past 12 months. On the bottom, you'll see a graph, and you can click on any segment of that graph to see details about, for instance, in this case, these are all the trips taken in April. If I were to go to today's choice, for example, then the breakdown is in 4-hour segments, and I can click on any 4-hour segment to see the details on that. That's it for the menu screen, and we were back to the home screen. You'll see that on the home screen, you have base, bookings, and messages. Bookings and messages are exactly the same as what we just saw in the menu screen. It's booking and messages. So again, it's just a shortcut to getting to those screens. The base icon brings up choices for talking to the base. Request to call is when you want the dispatcher to call you. So if you click on this, you will notify dispatch that you would like to receive a call from them. And you will see what your position is in the queue for receiving calls. So in this case, obviously, again, I'm the only one, so I'm position 1. But if you see that you're position 10 in the queue, that tells you how busy dispatch is, and they may not be able to get back to you quickly. So you go ahead and OK that. Next, you have send message. Tap on that. You'll see a selection of canned messages that we have that you can invoke by just simply tapping on them. For example, if you need the unit number, apartment number, I simply tap on that, and that message is sent to base, and they'll get back to you with that information. You can also send a freeform text. So you type in whatever you want, press OK, and that is sent to base. Now, these top two messages actually have what they call smart messages, and they actually have some functionality. So we just requested a call from base, and if you need to cancel that request, you simply click on cancel request, and that request is sent to base, and it will automatically cancel that request. Next one is an interesting one. Picked up last customer / restore last job. This is used if you have invoked a no job on a booking. So you arrive and you can't find a passenger, so you say no job, and that job is taken off of your screen. 30 seconds later, you find a passenger and you want to get that job back onto your screen. So you don't have to call dispatch and tell them what happened. All you do is you simply click on that, and it says your message was sent. And if that job is still available, it will be automatically sent back to your tablet. Dispatch doesn't even have to do anything about it. It'll just come back onto your tablet. Now you can invoke that command only within 5 minutes after you have invoked the no-show command. That's it for the home screen, and next we will see how you can accept a job and complete it.